12 Visions Party Contract. A protection-only government will lead to the people's greatest prosperity. That is reality. The many opinions and agendas of man cannot alter reality. Yet while creating, interpreting, and executing law, the attempt to alter reality is continually made. This law, that interpretation, these regulations will improve the people's prosperity. We promise. Whether innocent or not, these sound good social good government actions, beyond protection, increasingly control us and slowly kill our freedoms, bit by bit, day after day, steadily aging our country, leading to its eventual death. The purpose of the TVP contract is to establish the one proper purpose of government, the reality of protection. We establish the reality of protection through the unchanging prime law of no initiatory force, which controls both the selfish and selfless, lawmakers, lawyers, judges, and bureaucrats, and their endless opinions, biases, agendas, ambitions, egos, desires, delusions, and illusions. No longer will those flaw-filled men and women control law and politics. I, DarrenSept2010MyTVPContract, pledge to subordinate my many preconceived thoughts, despite how strongly I feel, despite whether I believe with certainty or with reservation, for with external and internal confusions and illusions that accompany a power-based government, I honestly acknowledge that always reaching the proper decision is merely impossible. In serving my party's objective to return to a protection-only government in order to unleash an unprecedented prosperity explosion that will make all the people rich, including the poor, I fully understand the mechanics come down to consistently, always without exception, supporting the biologically irreducible, fundamental act of protection, the prime law of no initiatory force, as spelled out in the national platform of the 12 Visions Party. That prime law of protection must control the lawmakers, law interpreters, and law executors, not the other way around. Therefore, every decision I make, even if it goes against the very grain of my heart, mind, and soul, will be made purely on serving the prime law. I realize in the end that policy will bring forth our vision to make all the people wealthy, healthy, and safe, including the poor and the elderly, as articulated in the TVP national platform. Again, that policy will bring forth our vision of a profoundly free, wealthy, healthy, and safe society. If I knowingly go against the prime law of protection only, for any decision, for any reason whatsoever, or if I show a trend of unknowingly going against the prime law, which is mostly self-evident, the 12 Visions Party will immediately and publicly disown me, and will no longer recognize me as a member. Lawmakers, man, must not control law. Men and women controlling law can lead to anything, can take a country anywhere, even to the point where it becomes law to kill others, as we have seen around the world throughout history. Man with his many faults of ego, greed, envy, and innocent lack of knowledge, and his many vulnerabilities, must not control laws and interpret the Constitution. Man controlling law, with all his vulnerabilities and faults, has always been a recipe for destruction. No, the flawless prime law of protection must control the lawmakers, law interpreters, law executors. If we want to live for the first time in a universally wealthy, healthy, happy, peaceful, safe, and truly free society, then the prime law of protection must ultimately become the political point of origin, the decision maker, not man, not me. Political decisions bound to the prime law will effectively minimize crime and eventually end initiatory force, including agenda law and political policy regulations based on initiatory force, thus unleashing the geniuses of society and their technologies, catapulting our standards of living, buying power, wealth, and health for all people, including the poor. That is our vision. All members running for office, appointed to office, or serving in any way must sign below to abide by the prime law for every decision, in quest of our vision. Indeed, we the visionaries must completely commit ourselves to the prime law today, via this contract. We must bring the prime law to each of the 50 states tomorrow via this contract. We must bring the prime law to each of the 50 states tomorrow via our state constitutions. We must bring the prime law to our federal government eventually via an amendment to the U.S. Constitution, which would act as the overarching de facto Constitution of America. Visionaries must ultimately bring the prime law to the entire world, country by country,